Hi, welcome back to the Rocket Coaches Show, presented to you by Rose Hill General and Cosmetic Dentistry. I'm Brian Firebaugh, joined with Coach Brandon Barger of the cross country team. How you doing today?
How you doing, Brian?
Good. So regionals and state just happened.
Yeah.
How do you feel about your team's performance at regionals so far?
It changed since the previous years because of the amount of teams now that are 4A, and so there's 9 teams per regional now. It gives a little more chance, for athletes to get in, and it gives 5A and 6A a little bit more competition than what they're used to. But with the regional that we had, I was pleased with what we had. We haven't had kids go to state in the last 4 years, so it was good to at least get a couple in there to the state meet, and hopefully that kind of slingshots the rest of our seasons coming up here soon. In terms of regionals, the girls team looked a little bit more promising to get in than the guys at that point. We were short about 30 points, which is, it's a bunch of points at that time. We didn't have a couple things fall in our favor, and that happens in a race like that, especially at Buhler. Buhler was a kind of a tough course. It's not very, it's very hilly, but it's also got sand, and so there's not a lot of, it's kind of just giving in with the course instead of and that's why some of our times were a little bit slower. But the state meet was a good meet.
So Trent and Aubrey qualified for state. Aubrey got 40th and Trent got 66th. Are you proud of these two? Obviously.
Obviously, yes, I am. And it was kind of a bummer we didn't get to run at the Wamego Invite, which was in the beginning of September. It got rained out, so it would have given Aubrey a little bit more experience. She's never ran that course before, so she got a little taste of it at the state meet. Trent's ran there before, and I don't think he was very pleased with his performance, but nevertheless, he did a great job. He stayed up with who he needed to stay up with. He beat some people that he wanted to beat, and so I kind of thought where he was going to be in that race, and ended up where I thought he was going to be. Aubrey surprised me a little bit more. She ended up in the first third of the race. This race is a little bit more strategic than it is just go out there and race, because there's so many ups, downs, there's so many turns, which kind of kills your momentum for a race like this. And so having her finish up where she did, and only being a sophomore, that's really saying a lot for her. She was very excited from the get-go. So was Trent. He really wanted to go. If you saw some of the pictures from regionals, he really wanted to go. All right, and that was good for us. So, like I said, it's been a few years since we've went. So, just to get 2 in, hopefully it kind of slingshots the rest of our seasons coming up.
We'll be right back here on the Rocket Coaches Show.
Have you ever had the need for teeth whitening? Rose Hill General and Cosmetic Dentistry is the place to go. Chipped a tooth, they can take care of it. They have been in the Wichita community for over 40 years. Dr. Troilo has 39 years of experience in dentistry. Amazing, caring, helpful, and communicative, says one valued customer. Very nice people and good at what they do. Been coming here since I was in school. The office hours include Monday at 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., Tuesday 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., Wednesday 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., Thursday 7 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., and Friday 7 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Welcome back to the Rocket Coaches Show, presented to you by Rose Hill General and Cosmetic Dentistry. I'm here joined again by Coach Barger from the cross country team. Now, Coach Barger, you obviously have a pretty extensive off season until cross country. Yeah. What are some ways you're going to have your kids try to stay in shape and in cross country form?
One of the best parts about being a cross country coach is that when we get into track season, and when I'm also a track coach too, so it kind of helps. We definitely do push kids to do other sports. In basketball, wrestling, whatever the case may be. Whatever student athletes don't want to do, then we do some off-season type of conditioning, kind of encourage maybe some indoor track meets where we'll get together. The addition of Coach Weber and Coach Madison will definitely kind of help with that. Since Coach Weber's in the weight room now, we can do some different types of conditioning than we've done kind of in the past. And then give them always a couple weeks. A couple weeks is always a good kind of a rest period, so they don't lose a lot of their endurance. and then get into some indoor season, which it's a little bit different than outdoor season, but it gives them kind of a head start, we think, in our preparation for the spring. Aubrey, different kind of runner. She's kind of gotten into the whole endurance part of it. Now we're going to work on speed for her, so she gets ready for her hurdles, which she has been in the as a freshman season. So cross definitely has helped her with that. But I mean, whatever kids that don't end up going for winter season. In terms of basketball, wrestling, we'll try to encourage them to do some indoor stuff.
So during the summer, this upcoming summer, what are some ways you guys do to get them in shape, get them to start running? Because obviously it's really hot outside.
It is. It's hot outside. We always go in the morning, sometimes 3 days a week, sometimes 2 days a week. I always encourage them to run more than what we're doing, because to even get any type of endurance built up before the season starts, you have to have at least, and we talk about the 20, 30 miles a week. And that's kind of like in the middle low area. And so meeting up, like I said, 2 or 3 times a week. We have built in, since I've started, a mileage club membership where we have 3 different tiers of running. We have 150 miles, 250 miles, and 400-mile clubs. There's only so many of those 400 milers. And we treat that pretty big time at the end of the season, cross-country season, give them plaques and awards and, all sorts of stuff for them. And so that kind of hopefully encourage them a little bit. The freshmen don't see that until when we have our banquet at the end of the season this year. So hopefully that'll kind of fuel them a little bit to run a little bit more in the summer. The summer is so important for their training, because if they train all summer, they're ready to start, race-specific training when the season starts. And if they don't, then it's just pretty much a catch-up for them throughout the whole season. So kids like Sydney Denton, I mean, she was one of them, didn't make it with the volleyball team, and we picked her up, and she kind of got a little better throughout the season. But that's one kid that we could have probably trained throughout the summer and see what she would have done at the end of the season. But just trying to get the kids on board with the summer training, it's a task in itself, because a lot of kids don't want to run in the summer. But you can definitely tell the ones that have, and it shows up in October when it counts.
Coach Barger, congratulations on a good season.
Thank you very much, sir.
I've been Brian Firebaugh with the Rocket Coaches Show, presented to you by Rose Hill General and Cosmetic Dentistry.